The Los Angeles Chargers had a strong regular season, but their postseason run was over before it really started. A loss that exposed some glaring weaknesses, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. One area that really stood out during the Chargers' struggles was their pass-catching group. Daniel Popper of The Athletic highlighted one player in particular who seemed to be under heavy scrutiny after that playoff loss. Tight end Will Dissly. Let's break down Dissly's performance this season, take a look at how the other tight ends fared, and discuss the potential moves the Chargers could make heading into the 2025 season. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Charger. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Now, let's dive into what Popper had to say. He pointed out, Will Dissly had a solid season, but his limitations as a pass catcher were exposed in the playoffs. The Chargers need a playmaking tight end in the passing game. Looking at the numbers, Dissly did put up satisfactory stats during the regular season, catching 50 passes for 481 yards and a couple of touchdowns with an impressive 78.1% catch rate. But when it came to the postseason, he faltered. He had multiple drops in the loss to the Texans, which made it clear that he's not quite the number one caliber tight end the Chargers need to be a true contender. To put it in perspective, Dissly ranked just 21st among tight ends for receiving yards this season. That's not ideal, especially when you consider how much of a problem the tight end position has been for the Chargers all year. Now, the problem goes beyond just Dissly. None of the other tight ends on the roster performed any better. In fact, no other tight end even managed to break the 100-yard mark for the season. So, with the tight end position lacking any real production, the Chargers have been forced to lean heavily on their wide receivers. So, heading into 2025, the Chargers are going to need to address the tight end position if they want to take the next step and compete at the highest level. So, who are the top options for the Chargers to consider? Well, there are two names that stand out in this year's class. Warren and Colston Loveland. Both bring unique skill sets to the table, and each could make an impact on the offense in their own way. Let's kick things off with Warren. He's the more polished option, and probably the tougher one for the Chargers to land, but he's definitely someone worth keeping an eye on. Tight ends can be a bit unpredictable in the draft. Sometimes they're taken higher than expected, sometimes lower. In fact, the last time two tight ends went in the first round was back in 2019 with TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant. So projecting this position can be tricky. Anyhow, coming back to Warren, he has the elite skill set that could make him a strong candidate for a first-round pick. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing around 260 pounds, he's exactly the kind of player you want in a modern NFL tight end. His frame is imposing and his catch radius is massive, perfect for a quarterback like Herbert, who can use that reliable target in crucial situations. But it's not just his size that stands out. Warren's hands are excellent, and his route running is sharp, making him a constant threat over the middle of the field. What really makes Warren a special prospect, though, is his versatility. He's not just a traditional tight end. He's shown he can do it all. Whether he's lined up in the slot, backfield, out wide, or even taking direct snaps in the Wildcat, Warren has proven he can excel in multiple roles. That kind of flexibility would be a huge asset for the Chargers, especially with Herbert, who thrives when he has multiple weapons to work with. Warren's senior year at Penn State was nothing short of extraordinary. He racked up 104 receptions for 1,233 yards and 8 touchdowns, quickly becoming the focal point of one of the nation's most explosive offenses. To put those numbers into perspective, they rival or even surpass what we've seen from top tight end prospects like Brock Bowers. When it comes to his stats, Warren continues to impress. His 2.8% drop rate, according to Pro Football Focus, speaks volumes about his reliability as a receiver. Plus, his contested catch rate of 61.9% shows he's more than capable of making those tough, highlight reel catches, especially when the pressure is on. He's a legitimate threat in the red zone, which is a huge asset for a quarterback like Herbert. But there's a big question mark. Will Warren still be available at pick 22? Some mock drafts have him slipping, but the Chargers will need to keep a close eye on how the draft board shakes out because Warren would be a game changer for this offense, offering Herbert the kind of elite target who could transform the team's passing attack. Now, let's shift gears and talk about Colston Loveland, the other top prospect the Chargers have their eyes on. While Warren might be the flashier option, Loveland could be the more realistic pick. His numbers this past season dipped a bit due to a weaker quarterback situation, but make no mistake, his overall skill set has only improved. Loveland is a fluid athlete with long strides, and that natural ability to separate downfield makes him a more polished route runner compared to Warren. Loveland has a lot going for him. His 3.4% drop rate shows just how reliable he is as a pass catcher. He's not just a hands catcher. He's got the ability to make catches outside his frame and secure tough passes with ease. That's the kind of consistency Herbert would love to have in the passing game. Despite being slimmer than Warren at 6 feet 4 inches and 245 pounds, Loveland makes up for it with his agility, excellent body control, and the ability to win contested catches. His quickness after the catch allows him to turn short throws into bigger gains, which is exactly what the Chargers need to move the chains. When it comes to blocking, Loveland gives solid effort and shows good technique, though his size might limit him against bigger defenders. What really stands out, though, is his ability to contribute in the quick passing game, especially at the second level. He's effective at taking out defensive backs and making key blocks, something the Chargers have been missing in recent years. If the Chargers were to land Loveland, they'd be getting a player who fits perfectly into their offense and brings a lot of versatility and reliability to the table. He's the kind of player who can create mismatches and elevate the Chargers' efficiency in critical situations. At the end of the day, whether it's Warren or Loveland, both would bring something special to the Chargers' offense and give Justin Herbert another weapon to work with. So, what's your take? Which of these two tight ends would be the best fit for the Chargers? The bigger question is, who's going to be available at the 22nd pick? And even more pressing, will the Chargers actually go with a tight end in the first round? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.